touch that peak, I've been grinding all week. Ain't no stopping me. I ain't getting no sleep till I touch that peak. I've been grinding all week. Ain't no stopping me. Ain't no stopping me. Ain't no stopping me. Ain't no stopping me. I ain't getting no sleep till I touch that peak. I've been grinding all week. Ain't no stopping me. I ain't getting no sleep till I touch that peak. I've been grinding all week. Ain't no stopping me. Ain't no stopping me. Ain't no stopping.
The British government has charged Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan with rape and human trafficking, among other charges. The BBC reports the Crown Prosecution Service filed the charges after receiving new evidence against the far-right influencer brothers from a regional police station. Andrew Tate faces 10 charges connected to 3 alleged victims, while Tristan faces 11 charges connected to 1 alleged victim, on allegations dating back between 2012 and 2015, according to reports. The brothers have previously rejected the UK allegations, saying they are, quote, very innocent men. Despite also facing similar charges in their country of residence, Romania, the British-American brothers were allowed to return to the United States in February. At the time, Andrew said of the charges against them,
We live in a democratic society where it's innocent until proven guilty, and I think my brother and I, there's a lot of opinions about us, a lot of things that go around about us on the internet. We've yet to be convicted of any crime in our lives ever.
reports say they have since returned to Romania, where they face charges of sex with a minor and trafficking. They both deny the allegations. According to the BBC, those charges will be handled after the criminal cases are concluded in Romania.
All right. Well, we're back at it again with the Tates. I guess we'll go ahead and do a deep dive and try to figure out what the heck is going on now. You know, some people say it's the Matrix or whatnot, but I don't know. We'll go ahead and see. Well, anyways, welcome to ROMA Nation. I'm AK, your favorite guy, and tonight we're diving into the stories that shape our world, from presidential pardons, things like that. We did that last week. This week, we're going to be talking about Andrew Tate. We're going to be talking about the storms over the weekend. and also a preview of a possible NBA Finals matchup. This is going to be fun. So let's sit back and relax as Roma Nation starts now.
I'm hiding, I'll be so lonely. I'm hiding, I'll be so lonely.
What up, Fluffy?
Hi, I got it stolen.
I thought you were on another show.
I am on many shows. You just never know where I go because that's the name of the game.
Just chasing you around Roma Nation Network, huh?
I am. That's why I am considered a hobo. I'm always wondering.
There you go.
Pretty soon I'll be on the drive-in, and who knows, Facts and Sass. And who knows, I might be on something else.
You know what? You might just run Roma Nation.
Oh, shit. Your shoulders aren't that broad.
Neither are mine, dude. Neither are mine. All right. Well, let's get into it tonight. But first, make sure you go to riseofmiddleamerica.com and see our ugly faces down here at the bottom. Yeah, I will always love these photos that Turtle did for us. Up here at the upper right-hand corner of the page, that's where all of our socials are for our YouTube, our Rumble, our X. Also, our Discord, where all the magic happens. You know, if you want to be a podcast host, producer, researcher, or writer for us, it's the only place where you can be a part of the fastest-growing podcast community on X, Rumble, you know, the internet. So,
yeah.
Also, at the bottom of the page, we also got a place where you can show your support. We got the Roma Nation Network merch here. And yeah, we've got some new stuff coming out. I know I said that last week, but I got to get on the ball. It's been one heck of a weekend. We had a lot of fun. I was out four-wheeling and Brian was there, T-Bone was there, so we had a lot of fun. But anyways, so what you got going on?
Work. I got a studio to build because somebody is like, the audio sucks for FAFO. All right, I'm gonna build a studio for FAFO, so that's what I'm doing. You're welcome.
Hey, I might have to come down there and help you out. So I got a whole bunch of soundproof walling equipment and stuff I still haven't put up yet. So
I just went to a farm store and bought egg cartons. That is the cheapest soundproofing you could ever do. Just tack that on the drywall and put it up on a wall. Soundproof wall.
And just paint it black, right?
Yeah, just paint it black. Right, literally. That's what I'm doing.
That's hilarious. All right. But anyways, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification button so you don't miss a moment of the action. So, well, anyways, without further ado, let's rant. All right. So this is from the BBC. UK prosecutors say 21 charges authorized against the Tate brothers. Prosecutors have confirmed for the first time in a full list of 21 charges Andrew and Tristan Tate will face when they have returned to the UK, including rape, actual bodily harm, and human trafficking. The Crown Prosecution Service said that it authorized the charges against the brothers in 2024 before an extradition warrant was issued to bring them back from Romania. The two British Americans are under investigation for Romania, facing a number of charges which they deny, and the CPS said the domestic criminal matters in Romania must be settled first. The CPS charge decision came after it received a file of evidence from Bedfordshire police about allegations made in the UK. So it's round two. What do you got?
In my most humble opinion of all things humble, I don't see, like, unless they provide evidence coming out, I don't see them actually committing a crime. You can flame me all you want. I haven't seen any evidence for it. As far as I understand, they just gave people jobs that nobody else wanted to do. Hell, they did the jobs themselves sometimes.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that.
No,
I mean,
there is.
there's so many OnlyFans creators, and you're going after two guys pretending to be women. I mean, you got other people to go after if that's the case. Just
Right.
saying.
Now we're going to go to a deep dive with them in a second act, but I mean, you have to understand, like, they've already hit and miss with them, right? I mean, regardless if you like them or hate them, I mean, I don't really watch them, but I hear about them all the time.
I had
Right.
no idea who they were until they were in trouble.
Right. Well, most people didn't know who they were.
All right.
So all they've done is just give them all this extra publicity. So I don't know what they're doing. I think they're trying to figure out some kind of,
Conspiracy theory. They paid off the Romanian government to make this a worldwide news. So that way they get publicity.
Possibly. I mean, we'll get into that in a bit here. So let's go on to our second story here. And this one is something that you would probably have some kind of interest to.
Ooh.
Yes. So Texan THC ban, Tennessee's hemp killing legislation, top CBT's most popular stories in May.
I have no idea what this is, but continue.
All right. So Texas and Tennessee, Alabama, the lawmakers prevailed in prohibiting certain cannabinoid hemp products this month, creating a shockwave for Southern business owners and Cannabis Business Times readers alike. In Tennessee, Governor Bill Lee signed legislation on May 21st that will ban products containing THCA or synthetic cannabinoids, as well as prohibit online sales for other hemp products starting in January of 2026 in the volunteer state, representing most read storyline this month. Similarly, the Texas legislature sent Governor Greg Abbott Senate Bill 3 this week, legislation that will prohibit manufacturing and selling hemp products containing any amount of THC or other derivatives other than non-intoxicating CBD or CBG, taking the number 2 spot amongst CBT's most popular articles in May.
Why would this affect me?
I don't know.
You do know I'm allergic to that, right? I know I've told many people this. Like, I'm 1 in a million that's actually allergic to marijuana.
Ouch.
You're welcome. I break out in hives.
That story out the window. No.
But it does affect my business prospects because how else am I supposed to keep those people high?
Exactly.
I mean, look, I'm so against marijuana. Every time I see it, I burn it.
That's funny. No, but but who are they referring to? Like, who are the people that are affected by this?
Ooh, I'll take that one for 500, Alec. The Chinese farmers that's living in Oklahoma selling it to the Texans and Tennesseans.
Hey, there you go. On top of that, because I mean it wouldn't have made sense if it's bringing in tax revenue.
I mean, Colorado's been running at a net positive for the last couple of years because of it.
Yeah, exactly.
And Michigan's slowly following them. They just legalized it a week ago, I think. And there's 96 dispensaries right across the board.
Right, and the thing is it's not like they're not selling plants here.
I mean, you can buy a clone for like $20 some or something. You can buy a clone. It's technically a plant.
Right. But of course, you've got the oils. There's so many different things that they're making.
The oils, the waxes, the diamonds, the gummies, the creams, the drinks. The hell, you can even get suppositories now.
Oh yeah, I'm not going there. But it's the thing is that the everyday, like regular everyday person doesn't have the ability to do this, because it's not like you can just say, hey, I want to get my license to to create a hemp shop, for whatever reason. I mean, obviously you have to have You have to understand what it is, what it does to the human body. You know, what are the side effects and things like that. But I mean, I thought weed was already illegal in Texas, sort of.
I'm not familiar with Texas law enough to know.
Right. But Tennessee is a weird one because Tennessee is definitely a red state, but
They're growing.
They're
Tennessee's growing
they
their
are
own.
growing purple very, very fast, right?
Yeah.
Especially with Nashville and,
Oh, yeah.
and with the mayor over there, which I'm not even going to get into. But I mean, you'd be surprised if this even gets signed into law at this point.
I think it has a high probability of being signed into law only because there's a lot of people who are religious, who are part of the Republican Party, who tend to vote anti-drug. And that's where a lot of things are leaning towards, even though, like, if you want to call a spade, this is going to be a hot take, but I think alcohol should be much more regulated than marijuana, because I've seen more drunk driving incidents than they were high behind the wheel. Most people who get high eat whole family-sized bags of Doritos and watch stoner movies and don't leave the couch. Most people who get drunk look at car keys like it's a seductress on a red light district. I mean, there's a difference here.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and because it's being more widely accepted, not just in our country, but across the world.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's only going to be a matter of time before you're not going to be, I mean, you're just not going to be able to stop it. You know, it's just, why spend all of that money? Because it's a cost benefit analysis, right? How much money is it going to cost to stop people from doing that versus, you know, just allowing them to do so and then collecting the tax revenue? Obviously, one of those sounds better than the other. But
if I remember correctly, there was a lot of people arguing the theory of hemp was a natural insulator for walls way back when, and then insulation changed, and like they had a new fire rating system for insulation, and like hemp didn't make the cut, so everybody shifted off of making hemp products, and then they got away from paper products, and the whole drug thing became a thing. But like most of hemp is still very usable today. Like we can do a lot of stuff with hemp, like not even the THC brand, but just hemp in general.
It's like, what are we going to do with this hemp running around?
Right.
And then, of course, the movie Reefer Madness comes out. So that's funny. All right. So moving on to our final story here. We have Memorial Day weekend this weekend.
Yes.
And once again, water is wet. Thank you, Brian. We've had a lot of storms, you know, coming through and tearing up the Midwest. Yeah. So let's go ahead and check that out, shall we? Oh, what are you doing? Start.
Tonight,
There we
severe
go.
weather already moving in this holiday weekend. Tornadoes touching down in New Mexico, and hailstorms and heavy winds hitting Texas. In Oklahoma, torrential
Texas.
flooding as severe weather collides with this Memorial Day travel rush. AAA projecting 45 million Americans hit the road and skies this weekend.
It's a bit stressful.
I was one of them.
You know, you just want to just get on the line, get checked in, and just go.
Thunderstorms over Colorado, leading the FAA to issue a ground stop in Denver. Dallas-Fort Worth Airport in the bullseye of strong storms, adding more stress to these hectic scenes. TSA says they screened over 3 million people Friday, the third busiest day of all time. What'd you think when you walked up to this long line here?
I thought it was a lie. It is not a lie. I've never seen it wrapped around stairs, past the toilets, and all the way down.
Across the country, thousands of flights delayed. On Saturday,
I mean,
Okay. That's some busy people.
third busiest day on record.
Yeah. I mean, if they're at the Denver airport, like it's always busy because it's the only centralized hub in America. Like almost every flight goes to Denver if you're going East Coast to West Coast.
Yeah, Denver, or if you're going West Coast to East Coast most of the time. But if you're going East Coast to West Coast, it's Atlanta. So, I mean,
that's still Colorado hits a lot of stuff.
It does, and it's like it's not exactly in the center of the country, but it's like center left.
It's center enough.
It's center enough. Yeah,
that could be a venture capitalist thing right there. Somebody buy some land in Iowa and build another airport. Alleviate some pressure off of Denver. You never know.
I guess, or somewhere in like Nebraska, in the middle of a cornfield.
Yeah. So there was a plane that crashed today in Nebraska, and nobody got hurt. Surprisingly, because there's nobody around.
That's funny. But yeah, so speaking of like holidays, I mean, I'm guessing a lot of people are just ready for the summer, right?
Oh yeah.
And the last couple of summers have been kind of sucky.
Hectic is a good word.
A little hectic. There was a lot of things going on that required you to do extra things around the country. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that right now, but I think this is probably the first summer where there aren't any restrictions of any kind.
I know, right? Like the one restriction I had, I actually did the impossible. I posted this on X. I got a honey-do list that takes 6 months. I did it done in 5. I did the impossible.
Very, very nice. Yeah. So, I'm wondering, Memorial Day and 4th of July are probably going to be just effing crazy.
4th of July is on a Friday this year? Yes. It's going to be insane. If you can, I would leave a day early before 4th of July travel takes it over. Because there's no way you're going to get to your destination on time.
All right. But yeah, so
what we got next, boss man?
Let's see. Let me look up. I think I want to go back to the Tate brothers, because I mean, we're gonna have to find a middle ground on this, and that's why I have this really nice special bump for you guys, and here it is. All right, so they've been charged with multiple offenses in the UK, including rape, human trafficking, and controlling prostitution. So there's a couple of videos I wanted to present here, and one of them is going to be sort of like in the anti-Tate, and then the second video is going to be more of like I don't think it's a pro Andrew pro Tate, but I think it's more of a pro due process. So so let's start with the anti and then go from there.
All right.
If you play, there we go. This is from Topical Juice.
So wannabe alpha male nonces Andrew and Tristan Tate have been charged with some heinous crimes from the UK this time. So they're actually going to be extradited from Romania to the UK to face these charges after whatever happens in Romania concludes. Now, guys, this is justice. I don't give a F what people think. These people are nasty people. The thing is about Andrew and Tristan Tate, they think they're smart, when really they're some of the dumbest people I've actually ever come across. Do you know why? Because everything they've ever said, everything they've ever done, they left a digital footprint online.
All right, I'm going to stop right there. Let's see. So this guy's got 78,000 subscribers. Okay, so he's got a pretty good following.
Question.
Yes.
For somebody who has that many followers, why is he complaining about somebody who has way more followers, who's in trouble with the law allegedly, and complaining about not being smart? Yet he does know that the microphones are supposed to have a stand, right?
Right.
Just saying, like,
yeah.
If I see people holding microphones in their hand and walking around with them, like, you're not real. Nobody does that.
So first thing is first, he's coming here in a position in which he thinks that he has like the information, right?
Moral
You-
high
you-
ground.
Yeah, not even the moral high ground. It's like people that are like, hey, listen, I'm just going to tell you how it is, even though I don't have like the actual facts. And then I'm just going to tell you that my position is correct and then just move on from there because, you know, I have 78,000 subscribers. So, I don't have as many as him, but what I do know is that when you start telling people that you don't give an F about, you know, whether these things are true or not, you've pretty much put yourself into a corner. You put yourself into a corner because now the moment, let's go fast forward 2 years from now or whatever, however long, you know, the trials take, and they end up not being found not guilty, then you've just wasted your own time. Okay. Once again, I'm not for or against. I don't really follow them except for when they just show up on my X feed. But
Yeah.
but it's really interesting how people are just willing to jump feet first in and take whatever they can right off the bat before there's any information that's released. Those are the people I don't listen to. I've always been taught to basically wait a couple of days for any information, but then I also listen and I watch, right? And I watch my feeds and I watch who has what points and who doesn't. And it's pretty clear that that's not how due process works. So he would definitely feel the same way if it was him. Thoughts?
Yes, you're right. He would definitely have different thoughts when it was coming after him. Who was this? Tropical Juice? Is that his name?
Topical. Like
Juice.
tropical without the R.
Yeah, you know, okay. Jungle Juice over here because he's Jamaican.
Jesus Christ.
What? That's a beverage. Don't make it racist.
Oh man. Anyways, go ahead.
This might sound like I'm attacking the dude, and I'm not. I'm attacking his argument. For fair sake, I'm attacking his argument. We wanted to talk middle ground here. He's going after the Tate brothers for a perceived injustice that they've seen. He's on trial. Once things have settled down and the trial's gone through, if he's been convicted, sure, I'll agree. Justice has been served. Cool. Until then, shouldn't we treat this no different than, like, I don't know, every other case in the world, like you were saying? Justice is served once it's been served.
Right. And then the second thing is that he talked about how like they have a digital footprint everywhere. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Like, of course they're going to have it. They have to have it. They absolutely have to have it, being that popular and having the things that are, you know, these trials and all these things coming after them. Everything they do, almost 100, I mean, it's like 99% of the time, they're being recorded somewhere.
Well, you know, just like every Minecraft YouTuber, once they get popular, they just can't keep themselves away from kids.
Exactly.
The law is going to catch up with you eventually.
There you
Stop
go.
it.
Everything. You can go back to 5, 6, 7 years ago of them admitting the crimes that they are now being accused of. There is so much evidence against them on the internet alone. I dread to think what evidence is against them that the police have.
What evidence? Evidence of what?
Here's something, though. Like, okay, he said that they admitted to committing crimes years ago. Is that because the law didn't exist at that time, or because they didn't know it existed? Because there's a difference there. Like, if somebody makes a gun law and it makes your gun illegal, you technically get like either grandfathered in or you have to register it here in America some way or another, right?
Right.
But like, it's one of those weird things. Like, if that law just got created recently, then that wasn't a crime when they were boasting about it then. I look, I don't know Romanian law.
But I don't. Well, it's not
Yeah.
even that. But like, what is he talking about specifically? Like, he's not being specific about it. He's just kind of creating this broad paintbrush of topics
Yeah.
that he's throwing out there.
So
And
it
this
is
is
a
not the
psyop.
first time this has happened. And it's definitely not the last. And they usually, most of the time, just get burned out of existence. But
Well, it's psyop 101. Paint a broad brush, let your audience fill in the gap.
yep,
That's why a lot of conspiracy theories hold a lot of water, because people interpret it different ways.
exactly.
So what's going on, the people that miss your boy Cam Topical Juice, and we are back with another video for you today. I've been so consistent on this YouTube thing. I'm proud because I was lacking some consistency before, even though the algorithm isn't in my favor, man. So I really do need you guys to watch the video to the end.
You're speaking to the choir.
We'll get to that in a minute. As you can see in the title, as I said, Andrew and Tristan Tate, they're finished. They're finished. I don't see any way they get out of this. If they do get out of this, then money just talks and their money's long. I mean, or they could be innocent, or possibly. But from everything I've seen alone from the internet, there is no way these people are innocent. These are men who once they turned 30 years old, they said, well done, lads. You're 30. You can now F women half your age. Yeah, 15-year-old women. I love virgins. I love all this. And I'm going to expose that. I've exposed it multiple times on my YouTube channel. I've exposed them multiple times. Well, I've exposed them once on my Patreon channel. But I'm going to show you some clips in this video anyway, just to remind you the type of men these actually are. These are not your idols. These are not your motivators.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. What clips are you talking about? Let's see. Let me move in right here.
I got loads on there, loads of stuff that you'd enjoy. Anyway, guys, let me read an article
From the internet. It's got to be
very
true.
briefly. In fact, forget that. Let's forget reading the article for a minute. Let's actually look at the type of people that Andrew and Tristan are.
It's like taking the virginity of a really beautiful woman. I get to have this experience and no one else gets to have it again. It is a little bit better, but the real pleasure is in the fact that somebody else would love to have this and I get it. That's why this is good.
Okay.
I see no downside with that. As a christened man whore myself, I see nothing wrong with that.
You just sounds like your normal rich douchebag that says I can get all the women.
Well, look at him.
Illegal.
He's dressed like he's an investment manager. Of course, he wants the first dip in.
Absolutely.
That makes sense. I'll give you that. I agree with that. When you are in the true abundance mindset of you can have the pick of the crop, you can have the world's most attractive women. I mean, one of my main chicks has 200,000 Instagram followers, and I took her virginity when she was 17. It's an abundance mindset.
Yeah.
I have so many.
A lot of states in the U.S. allow 17-year-olds.
They do allow 16-year-olds.
Well,
Actually-
that's different clauses, but like most of them, like 17, you can be tried as an adult. So they've been like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and not only that, but I talked about this in my consent show. And when was my consent show? I think it was either season 2 or season 3. It was the first episode. And, and I had like I had an epiphany live where I was like, well, wait a minute. So I understand about consent at, different ages and stuff. I know that there's some hard lines, but if you are 16 years old and your state says that 16 is the age of consent, if you're, let's say you decide to have relations with someone that is 28, does that 28-year-old get in trouble? Or, because now the law has to be clear at that point, right?
I think with one of the laws that you're referring to, they have to have been dating and no, I could be wrong. This could be the 16 or 16 and 18. It could be that because I know there's a Romeo and Juliet clause. Yeah.
Yep.
That one, like you had to have been dating in high school or like for 2 years. And if once he or she turns 18 and you're 16, then it's acceptable legally in the eyes of certain courts. But I think those are very far and few between. I think there's only like 2 or 3 states that do it. I mean, a lot of other countries, they see age of consent still at the age of 15. So like,
no, they do.
Where are you holding your normalcy at?
But also but it's not like, oh, I'm 15 now, let's go be a whore. Like there's still standards, right? There's still standards in those countries where it's like, okay,
Well, there are some countries that have no standards, and we won't mention those here. Go to rumble.com.
And I've even I've known Jesus Christ. I've known women in my they were teenagers in my high school, that were dating older, like 16, dating 20-year-old men, but their parents knew their families, like they kind of grew up together, and it's like it's like, they knew that these two were going to be together, right? And whether you agree with it or not, I mean, once the parents get involved and they, send the green light, it's not like they're 12,
right?
Right. So there has to be some kind of gray area, but you have to be careful about that, because you also don't want to. You don't want that to be the standard.
Right. See, I grew up in a very small town, so I have plenty of experiences of just like what you mentioned. Daughter turned 16, boyfriend is 20. They've known each other since they were in pre-K. Like, the families have known each other for a long time. Legal? Don't know. Anything happened between them? I honestly couldn't care. But I do know during like one of what was it, mistletoe dance or some whatever high school bullshit they call it now, he showed up with her in a car, and he was like the envy of everyone because like he had a car. Like, oh, how times have changed.
Right. I remember, I think it was my senior year of high school. I was in prom, and there was a girl that was 17, and her boyfriend that was like 26 years old or something came in. I mean, the dude had like a full beard. He had a ponytail, like tattoos, like all, like the whole 9 yards, and was at the prom. And we were all kind of like, who is this unk? That's the new word now.
What are you doing, uncle?
Exactly. But nobody said anything, and they just let it go. I guess that was okay by our school standards, which is kind of creepy, but we'll just leave it at that.
It was a different time. You just don't understand.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, what else have we got?
Girlfriends, and so many wonderful girlfriends, and so many virgins. She was a Polish virgin. Man, it hurt her at every moment that I was doing it, but it felt good for me, so who gives a shit?
As you can see there from that clip, that was mainly Tristan Tate, but don't worry, we'll get around to Andrew. He said he wants virgins, and what he likes about pressing virgins is that he gets to have that experience first and no one else does. Bearing in mind, these are men that want to help other men. They want to encourage other men to be better men.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna throw him a bone here. The whole 17-year-old thing, obviously, we don't know how old he was. So I'm not gonna sit there and speculate, but obviously you shouldn't be just going around and popping cherries as like a hobby. Like that's very.
Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself, my man.
I mean, at least for me personally, like, I mean, nobody's perfect, and we're not in a perfect world, and people are just going to have relations outside of marriage. I did it. You did it. Like, it's just, that's just what it is now,
Not anymore.
But if you're going to make this video your standard, then you must make that standard to not just yourself, but to everybody else that's around you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because if you're going to go out with 78,000 followers and you're going to speak this into existence, then you better hope to God that you're doing the same thing yourself, that you're practicing what you preach. Because we all know that the moment that something comes out, you're going to get buried like a sack of potatoes.
So have you heard that new law that's coming out in 26?
Which one?
So allegedly this law is going into place now. If you are caught cheating, your spouse has the right to sue you, and there will be jail time involved, especially with the paternity DNA test in court. 2026, adultery is going to be illegal everywhere. So all you cheating whores out there, watch your ass.
Is that federal?
That is federal.
When did that pass?
That passed recently, and that's
Do
why.
you know what that? Do you know what that's called?
Let me just find it here.
Yeah, you go ahead and find it,
Yeah.
and I'm going to jump in. But anyway, so like I said, if you're going to be using them to build your own content, you better be practicing what you preach. That's all I'm saying. But anyways, so let's move on to, let's see, Luke Gradkowski. He's got a couple things to say about this. Let me get back to, I think it was 45 seconds right there. Here we go.
Just came out right now of the UK government charging Andrew and Tristan Tate with some very serious charges that are a little bit similar to what is happening with Russell Brand from over 20 plus years ago. All of this, as there's now some
yeah, I heard about the one at Russell Brand.
The Diddy case.
That one, I don't.
A lot of people are saying Diddy will be getting off. That's a statement that probably a lot of people hears. As I wanted to examine this from a honest kind of perspective. So you are here at the right channel. Subscribe, click the notification button. Let's just get right into it, as we just got the breaking news that Andrew and Tristan Tate have been charged with over 20 offenses against 4 women, including S.A. Yep, you heard that correctly. Andrew and Tristan Tate charged with forcing themselves onto women, human trafficking, and working women of the night here.
Okay, so are they trying to make it to where men just will never date again?
That seems to be the plan. I also found the article I was referring to. I guess this was pulled out of context and I fell for it. So this was a South African law,
okay,
not an American law. However, the courts have been, according to Snopes, again, this is Snopes, they are looking into, if you can prove it in court, it's going to be a $10,000 fine in 13 states as of 2026. Yeah.
That's insane. Hold on, let me turn down my phone because everybody wants to jump online now. Everyone's like, "Hey,
get on, man! Fortnite's on."
What are you doing? What are you doing,
hey,
bro?
We need a tank. Hey, my man, we need
probably going to be my. There we go. Okay.
You want to do ranked diamonds?
Oh yeah, I was almost diamond. So what do we got here?
There you go. Adultery
so
crime in 16 states. Yeah.
Actually, here, let me let him talk a little bit more, and then we'll continue on, because I think there's some other things he was going to mention here.
Now, this is going to be an interesting case, because it's going to be interesting to see what exact evidence they have here when these charges are alleged to have happened, and how will this play into what a lot of people believe to be the kind of politicization of the justice system in the UK that clearly is a two-tier justice system. Is this a two-tier justice system against Andrew and Tristan Tate? Well, there's a lot of circumstantial evidence, especially when it comes to a lot of their kind of media publications, some of their kind of self-confessed behavior, which, let's be honest with ourselves, isn't the type of best behavior, as there's older videos talking about them pretending to be women and famoosing, as they say, gentlemen who thought that they were getting partners that were going to have relations and fly out to them and see them. But, regardless.
So this is what they call the lover boy method.
Did you really have to pause at that moment? Poor Luke.
I'm trying to be serious here.
No, there is no serious, because this is all conjecture. This is all conjecture.
Absolutely.
We're talking about what might happen.
Okay, so I'm going to start here. So the first thing is, How well did this work in Romania? It didn't work well at all, right? Because it was almost as if like they were trying to coerce people into thinking that like, hey, do this for us and we'll pat you on the back. And they're like, no, we're not going to do this. So then they decided, okay, well, we're going to use the lover boy method, which basically takes any authority from yourself to make that decision and to give it to the courts, which is like, holy crap. Like, that's a lot of power to wield in a situation like this, because who gets to decide that? Like, who gets to decide if whether if they were so fogged in the mind because they were so much in love that they couldn't readily make a proper decision for themselves in that time. And that's
the Stockholm syndrome.
Yes. Right.
Yeah. Sorry, I completely derailed you, but that's what it is.
No, but it's like, if that's the case with them, then you have to go to basically every rich person that's ever flown anybody out ever, and just do that. So that means all the sports stars, all the movie stars, all of the you really want to go down this road, right?
All right, we'll go down this road. All the sports stars, all the movie stars, all the supporting hands for each of those, all of the money beneficiaries for any political class. I don't care which party they belong to. Those that helped any kind of association or any kind of charity, like, I don't know, American Cross. That's a good one to start with. Then we can go down the list to something more egregious and something less controversial, like Epstein's Island, and then the Clinton Foundation, and then we can go to the World Economic Forum, and then we can go to other things. How far down this rabbit hole we want to go? Because if we want to play fair, we'll play fair.
Yeah, exactly. And this is one of those things where it's almost like they want to open Pandora's box just to see what happens, but I'm pretty sure they're not going to like what comes on the other side.
They just want to crack the lid for somebody they don't like. Come on now. Haven't you read the playbook? You crack the lid a little bit, you put your hand in it, you pull it out. It's like it's never even stopped, right?
Matt Stork said, as of November 22nd, 2024, adultery remains a crime in 16 states in the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, but prosecutions are rare. And then he says, Alabama, Arizona, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Kansas, Maryland, where I'm at, so I better be careful.
North Carolina.
Michigan, yep, North Carolina, North Dakota. Let's see, that's Oklahoma, Rhode Island, South Carolina,
Virginia,
Wisconsin. And Wisconsin.
I know my states. Kinda.
Right. All right. So let's get back to Mr.
This of whether you like these guys or not. Some people are arguing these guys are positive role models. I would say there's absolutely no positive male role models out there in mainstream culture, and a lot of people are arguing that this is, quote, a matrix attack. That this is an attack on these individuals because they dared to question the status quo. They dared to, of course, poke the bear and give men an alternative when, of course, men overwhelmingly, including young boys, have been kind of downtrodden, have been kind of forgotten in our society. And
yes, absolutely. So what is a matrix attack? So let's go here to Grok and see what he says. Matrix attack on an influential person popularized by figures like Andrew Tate is a metaphorical concept rather than a literal event. It refers to a perceived coordinated effort by powerful entities such as governments, media, societal elites to suppress, discredit, or control someone who challenges the dominant narrative or system. The term draws inspiration from the 1999 film The Matrix, where the Matrix symbolizes a simulated reality that controls humanity, keeping them compliant and unaware of the truth. In this context, an influential person might claim that they're experiencing a matrix attack when they face legal battles, media scrutiny, or public backlash as they believe is orchestrated to silence them. For example, Andrew Tate has used this term to describe his legal troubles, including charges of rape and human trafficking in the UK and Romania, framing it as attempts of the system to target him due to his outspoken views and influence. Posts on X reflect a similar sentiment, which some users suggest that such attacks are aimed at any man with ambition who refused to conform, though this lacks verifiable evidence, often serves as a defensive narrative.
Interesting.
Interesting, but here's the thing. But when it happens to one particular person who, again, is going against the narrative, correct? Because you see this in politics all the time. You see someone who's kind of like, yeah, I'm just going to bulldoze my way through. They have to slow them down somehow. So what happens? Somebody like Brett Kavanaugh, right? Brett Kavanaugh, that is like easy pickings right there. No issues throughout his entire time as working for the judicial system, right?
Right.
Finally gets in for the Supreme Court bid, and then out of nowhere, which, by the way, people on the left and the right were like, really?
That's highly illegal. You shouldn't do that.
Like, really? Like out of nowhere, and all of a sudden you have all of this information that you've been saving for 30 years? Like, GTFOH.
Oh, by the way, so you never told me that you were going to do What Does Grok Say stuff, and I kind of had a hive mind moment again with you, and I had a stinger ready for you, and I forgot to bring it up. For any time you're like, what? We'll see what Grok says.
Oh, I know that should be a segment, or like a random segment that we pull up out of nowhere.
Okay.
Like when there's something that we don't understand, and we're like, "What does Grok say?"
There you go. Yeah. Just for your reference, I threw it in your assets.
Yeah. Standalone complex. What Mad Stork says.
I don't know if it's a standalone complex. I really don't know about that.
Hold on. Vash says Clarence Thomas and Anita Hill case. Yep.
Isn't that the one where there was a pube on the Diet Coke?
Something like that. There's something dumb.
What did Crowder say? Man, who left a curly on my coat? That's Crowder's joke, not mine.
Oh my God. All right, let's continue.
And I think there's a nuanced argument to make there, because I think it's a legitimate argument to make, specifically when you see the kind of portrayals of young men and fathers in entertainment, in TV commercials, TV series, and movies. All of them are fat, stupid, and pathetic. A lot of people are told if you're born a male, you're born as an oppressor. And this type of kind of establishment mainline orthodoxy has played a major role on the psyche of a lot of young men and a lot of children that are absolutely lost. Andrew Tate, let's be honest with ourselves, came out as one of those prominent voices breaking down this kind of established norm of berating and beating down on boys. And he did it, I think, more successfully than anyone else, telling them to, of course, work out. Some of the things I absolutely disagreed with him on. And a lot of people are now going to be saying that a lot of this is politically motivated. Some people will say the charges are legitimate. He deserves to be held accountable for his heinous actions that he committed against the women that are accusing him.
All right. So with that being said, okay, let's flip the switch here. Has anyone ever, any woman across planet Earth, ever been charged with the same types of crimes that they're charging him with?
Not officially.
Yeah. For example, let's go back to the lover boy method.
Mm-hmm.
They call it lover boy, but like, can we do the same thing back in the other direction? Let's say
yes, technically. However, the reason it's called lover boy is because, and I don't want to sound crass because it's YouTube, but because women can't control their emotions very well as an average. and I am generalizing here, where to men are more or less
Let's
cool and
let's add
cold-headed.
in let's add in like a neutral thing like grip strength.
Oh, yes, yes. I'm still waiting for the day when somebody can beat my grip strength. That'd be great. 133.
Jesus. But
Yeah.
but yeah, so you've got that. All right, and then we're talking about like Diddy and
Oh,
things that
yeah.
he's done, right? And then he's completely probably going to get off. And reasons for that, you know, 'cause
Well,
one,
he got off all right.
yeah, exactly. I mean, number one, like they can't have another Epstein situation. If that happens, it's going to be then we know. Then it's going to be like, okay, now we know that this is an orchestrated event. Then you've got he probably has dirt hidden somewhere in the world, knowing that if anything happens to him, then everybody goes down. Right.
Maybe. Not unless they
Um,
got to that first, because he did age like rapidly in like the last year. Have you seen the before and after photos?
yeah, we had dark hair now.
Dude.
Everything is it's like my hair now.
Yeah. Like either A, he was getting it dyed, or B, prison is not going well for him at all.
Exactly. But the point here is that this innocent till proven guilty, right?
Absolutely.
You know, but I will also say that Andrew Tate just needs to get out of public sight right now. Like for like 5 years. Just go underground, get a lot of security, and just, you know, go live. Just go live your life. You got the money, you've got what you need, just go.
Now, would you be okay with him doing like a members only website?
Well, yeah, because that's your own prerogative if you decide that you want to jump in there.
Okay. Okay. So then what's to stop him from doing what he was accused of doing on his members only website?
Because I mean he's so popular now that somebody's going to jump in there and start watching. Right? So
Fair. That's fair.
somebody will be there and it'll probably be some government entity somewhere.
You know, I have this strange call it a gut instinct. If he was to come out and make like, I don't know, $500,000 donation to a Democratic Party, all of his problems would go away. But that's just my instincts telling me that.
I don't think that would happen. And even if it was, it'd be way more than that. We're talking maybe like 10% of his net worth. He would need, yeah. It's just he's already gone so far, and they've already pushed him so far. If that's the case, you know, like I said, Matrix. But
look, all I'm saying is that after I proclaim this, and if he makes a random anonymous, or if there's a donation that is made to the DNC and all the stuff of him goes away, I called it. I just want to say I called it.
That's hilarious. But yeah, but anyways, that was the middle ground. All right, so I know you're not a sports fan, so I'm going to go ahead and take this section here real quick before we leave. It's about the NBA Finals. Who do you think's going to be there? Well, let's see what this guy has to say.
Finals in the NBA playoffs. So here's how I would rank the 4 potential finals matchups based on what would be the most entertaining. So I'll be honest, I tried to find some sort of interesting storyline about Pacers Thunder. I got nothing, man. I also think this has the highest blowout potential. Now, Pacers Wolves would be fun because not only are Halliburton and Ant the 2 best players from the 2020 draft and very marketable young stars, but we'd be getting a guaranteed new NBA champ. Knicks Thunder would be electric, pun intended with OKC, because there's just so many storylines here. I mean, you got the small market versus the big market thing, Isaiah Hartenstein versus his old team. The Knicks also passed in the draft on both Shea and J-Dub, and these are the 2 teams with the highest odds to win the title right now on call sheet. The only place you can trade on the NBA in all 50 states. So it'd be great hoops. But to me, the best potential finals matchup is Knicks Wolves. I mean, obviously the cat for.
All right, I'll stop there. Knicks and the Wolves are down 3-1 right now. Oklahoma City is playing tonight. Actually, let me check in on. Whoops, wrong one. Let me see, because I believe that the Thunder and the Timberwolves are playing right now. Oh no, that's tomorrow. So the game's tomorrow. So there isn't a game going on right now, at least from what I can see. But anyways, so to close this out, it's going to be the worst case scenario, which this guy's going to say. I mean, unless there's like the craziest comeback, 2 comebacks back to back in NBA history in the same conference final, which I don't see that happening. You've got the Thunder. You got the Thunder and the Timberwolves, and I just think the Timberwolves are outmatched right now. They got the MVP in Shea Gilgeous-Alexander on the Thunder. He kind of reminds me of like Allen Iverson, but like 8 inches taller. He's almost unguardable this entire playoffs. He's got great court vision. He pressures the defense by taking on the inside and leaving people open in the wings, and he's got great speed. Right. Halliburton's almost a similar player. He's like a poor man's version of him. He kind of reminds me of like Penny Hardaway in a way. He's very tall, has a great vision where he passes the ball.
We got a guy. Lynch Mob says the game just ended. OKC is getting the WCF trophies now.
Oh, really? I couldn't see that on my. Holy crap!
Breaking live.
There we go. Stupid Hulu. But anyways, no, well, I mean, so much for talking about that. But we got the Knicks and the Pacers tomorrow in New York. I think this game is going to go 6 games. I think New York's going to win tomorrow, and then they're going to lose in Indiana. It's going to be a rough road for them. But yeah. So, anyways, go to riseofmiddleamerica.com.
Yeah, go there. Support the show. Share the show with your friends.
We've got all of our episodes here. I'm going to have to take down this drive-in episode because there was no sound on it yesterday. And I was just like, what the hell? So I'm going to re-upload that. I'm probably going to play that over the weekend so people can go ahead and rewatch the episode because it was absolutely hilarious and nobody got to hear it. So, and then we've got down at the bottom here, if you want to show your support, you can go to ROMA Nation Network merch. You can buy some of our recent hats, t-shirts, and also if you just want to make a donation, right here at the bottom of the page, we've got a PayPal link. You can make a monetary contribution to help us out, keep the lights on. Outside of that, you got anything else?
FAFO Friday.
Yeah. That's
new studio. Right. New studio, new mics. Oh, yeah. I got a new camera, too.
Oh, that's going to be nice.
I'm going balls to the wall with these autism. It's going to be fun.
Absolutely.
I'm making a small directory with it and whatnot. So, and you can, am I going on YouTube this week? Because oh boy, I'll try my best. Oh,
this is going to be funny. But, yeah, you can find him on X at Fluffy_Hobo. You can find me on X at TheRealRoma_AK. I'll be back on Friday, right after FAFO Friday. We've got tomorrow, we've got Sunset Rants. That's going to be with Taylor and D. And outside of that, you guys have a good night, and we will see you tomorrow. Frank and Beans. Peace.
Hustle in my veins, no rest, no dream, trying to make a way. Whole team gotta eat. No sleep, gotta keep going. No sleep till the world know it. No sleep till the world know it. No sleep till the world know it. I've been moving like a clock, don't stop, no breaks, no rest, no time to flop. Gotta get it while I'm breathing, never taking a loss. See the pain in my eyes, but the vision stay locked. Ain't nobody finna hand me a thing. Came from the bottom, I rose to through the rain. Hustle like I never had a meal on my plate. Now we eating so good that the hunger remains. Fast lane, never slowing my pace. Tell them I was built for the chase. Every night trying to double my worth. Put my name in the sky, make it shake up the earth.